Hello everyone and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 216. Today is Sunday, January 28th, 2018, and I'm glad you could join me today. I'm a little bit, because what was it? It was a travel day, but such is life. There's some remaining sunlight and it's actually pretty nice outside, so it's nice having the sweater. It'd probably be a little cold without the sweater, but oh well, such is life. I just have to laugh a little bit about, so what was it? I went on a trip last weekend and I was thinking I was gonna finish my cowl. Lies. Went on a trip this weekend, thought I was going to be finishing my cowl. Lies. lies. But whatever, it's not like it's the end of the world. So, but I am awfully close. So you see here that I have a tube and some needles sticking off of it and stuff and things. So I am actually in the process of seaming on my cowl. There's like a little bit of bizarreness going on, so hopefully. So, the trouble is that, with any grafting thing, you're always like half a stitch off. And right now I think I'm like 1.5 stitches off. And the question is whether or not I want to start all over again, or accept the strangeness of it all. Because really, in the grand scheme of things, all of my transitions are flawless, but this one. So I haven't decided yet. I certainly, what would it be? It looks like all of these can use a little bit of shushing though. But, yeah, I'm like 1.5 stitches off, I think, right now. I try to get it back lined up again because it's probably most obvious in the line of decreases. Let's see. I can show you guys as opposed to just sort of like looking at it and saying stuff about it. So you see where the little green stripe is? I'm grafting the row below that guy. And so let's see whether or not I can properly show the wonk. So, okay, you guys can see the wonk. So there's this line going here, and then we offset over, and there's this line going here. So it's better than what I did earlier, which was I was half a repeat off, and so I was zigging my zigs instead of zigging my zags, and it was So I don't know whether or not I want to go back. It's sort of bothering me right now, I cannot lie. But sadly, it takes a little bit before you can even be bothered. I decided to put a half twist in so that it laid nicely. Which now seems like it's more than that. I don't know. It's all nice and Mobius-y. So, what's nice about that, the half twist is, so let's say we have something around my neck, and then you have this half twist here, and half twist then makes things lie nicely, like so. So that's what I like about it. And then it's already sort of pre-coiled together, so I can have my delightful cowly bits, and then if it's too warm I can just pull it off. So I think it'll be nice when the time comes. But now it's just a matter of whether or not I go back and redo all of that. Exactly. So it may take a little bit more time for this. So this is a variation on the Chevron Infinity Delight cowl, except I decided to do mine in the round, and I'm doing it out of 3 colors of Madeline Tosh. So this magenta color is Lepidopera, and that's Pashmina, which is 80. I believe it's 70 merino, 20% cashmere, 10% silk. The tag is somewhere. And then I have 80-10-10 superwash merino, nylon and cashmere, and that is the blue and green colors. So sea glass is the green and the blue is blue Nile. So really fun little accessory. I didn't grab my coat, but it does match pretty well with my coat and my other stuff. Sorry. I have some handmade my fingerless gloves, which might be my the single most used knit item I own. Because when it's cold out, I'm gonna be wearing my fingerless gloves. So the leopard opera matches decently with that. So I could have coordinated winter accessory during winter if I can get over this grafting problem. I don't know if part of the issue was that I didn't quite line up the repeats correctly, because I'm sort of going backwards from how I was knitting it, if that makes any sense. But that seemed to make sense to me, so I might have been one stitch off there, and combined with the half stitch you always get when you graft. So I may end up taking that out and trying again, but it's pretty close. What was it? On the flight back, they had like the individual entertainment, so it was the case where I ended up watching Dunkirk on the plane. Oh man, that was really good. But I couldn't figure out where I'd stashed my chibi of darning needles, so I was like trying to rifle through all my bags. It turned out it was in the outside pocket of my giant canvas bag that I use when I'm traveling. Alas. So as a result, I didn't get nearly as much done, and it took a little bit more brain power than I think I was good for at the time. So in other news, I haven't started anything new. But it's looking pretty hopeful, guys. I'm going to show you guys the leftovers. So I definitely could not have eked out another repeat of this. This is the Leopard Opera. I ended up hand winding it into a center pull ball. So not like an acorn of that. I have about a walnut left of the green, and I somehow got the Dear Sweet Lovable one to wind this. And then this is the deformed amorphous ball of the Blue Nile. So a pretty decent amount of both those. They were definitely pretty noticeably depleted in the last repeat. I'm pretty sure I didn't have enough of either of these guys to do a repeat either. So I don't know if they were counting out how Madeline Tosh does it, if they do it by weight or they do it by yardage when they make skeins. Or maybe they just buy them that way, I have no clue. So but I was trying to maximize the yarn usage, so it was the case where I knew I had a bit more yardage of the Pashmina, so I tried to make sure I used up as much of that as possible. In that regard, I have succeeded. So hopefully I've cut a long enough tail. I tried to wind it around the project a couple of times to make sure I had plenty, but obviously some things get squished on the needles. So hopefully, like, I'm going to finish it tonight. But I didn't want to delay podcasting, especially since there was some daylight available. So sometimes you just can't delay. Sadly, I didn't get a chance to start my socks. Let's see. And now that it's been... But these are going on the needles, so... We'll do this. Hey! So, this is the Linaria by Parita? Let's see. We'll get probably interesting zooming noises, maybe. So, it's mostly purling. And I badly copied the book, sadly. Yeah, it's like a mop cable design. That's really pretty. So, this like mop cables in place. See, I don't even know why I have this particular page. All it is a picture. It's obviously just for podcasting. So, it is flower inspired because this is from Hunter Hammerson's Knitter's Curiosity Cabinet. I think it's the first one. And I am planning on knitting it out of the yarn I wound into center pole balls in October. So this is Sheep Dreamery Potomac Sock in the Blue Jane Baby colorway. And it is gorgeous and very modeled due to the fact that it was a sock blank. So this will be a lot of fun. And I figured that that pattern was going to be a pretty good match. So there's nothing like modeled and pearls. So hopefully that'll get a start soon. I probably won't start it till I finish grafting this cowl. Because it's not like the grafting itself is that hard. It's just the crazy making thing about making a lineup. It is hard to tell. As whatever. As seen by screwing it up at least twice now. I'll get through it though. I didn't work on my spindle project at all. Oh well, such is life. I was, we ended up, cutting it close with our airport times, so it would be the case where I think I tend to be a little bit more of a, I'd rather be early than on time. I'm like sort of punchy today, aren't I? So, if I am in charge of getting myself to the airport, I tend to be like way too early, and then that's like primo spinning time. When the Dear Sweet Lovable is in charge of getting to the airport, we end up like having this give and take, and so we end up just sort of early. Not nearly so early. So, I think I really wanted to finish that cowl, so I was focusing on it until it was done. And I'm going to keep focusing on it until it's done. So, not too crazy. So, before I started podcasting, I did check on my red yarn. I decided to give it a round in the microwave with a vinegar soak. And there was still some dye in the water afterwards, so I don't know, it did seem like less than last time. I definitely was not easy on it, so it was the case where I definitely pulled warm water for its bath because I wanted it to try to bleed as much as possible. I may just need to sit down and rinse a decent amount, because that's sort of where I am right now, is that it seems like it's an excess dye problem, not a what is it? It's probably an excess dye problem, as seen by the best thing that I did to get rid of it was to throw undyed skeins in with it. So that means I'm not ready to start my sweater project, which is crazy making. I'm glad I did another round. So it may be the case where I have to sit down and rinse both of them for a good long while until victory. It's just frustrating. Maybe what I'll do this time, which is something that I haven't done, is actually take my container of whatever. I don't normally wash dishes in the household. Why am I saying my container? It's my husband's container of dish soap. Fun fact, Dawn dish soap is the universal cleaner of all things. If you're washing windows, if you're degreasing engines, if you are scouring fleece, if you are any number of crazy things, in this case, like cleaning up after your dyeing experiments. Not even that I dyed this, but I sort of did it at this point. All of it. It is the best thing ever. It is as harsh as you can get without ruining things. So that means it's the strongest thing you can get without ruining things. So it's the best thing you can throw at a problem. And in this case, I have too much dye. I need soap to soak up that dye and rinse it down the drain. So that is probably what I'm gonna have to do next. So I have the skeins hanging up to dry right now, but I'll probably just work on it a little bit with that, because I think that is the one thing that I haven't done, was that I tend to keep my no rinse wool wash by the sink and not the dish soap or whatever. I have in my yarn room, it has a Jack and Jill it's a Jack and Jill setup, so there is a shared shower and then separate sinks in each one of the bedrooms. So I have my yarn washing station at one at the sink that's in my craft room, so I need to do that. But whatever. I'll have socks for on the go. Honestly, once I get to the sweater knitting, I'll actually be pretty mindless, which would be nice too. But yeah, no, this needs to end. The thought that crosses my mind is, at some point, when do I say I just can't make the project I intended with that yarn? Like, as much as I love that red, I'm the hate of the bleeding could overcome the love of that super duper saturated color, because it's crazy making. So I'm not sure at what point do I put in for a special order of, I need a different variant of the color that it, or what is it, a different variant of it. So like the blue shade or the green shade to make for the sweater. Because at some point you're like, I don't know. So that's something I'm gonna have to think about, because what would it be? I hadn't thought about the danger of doing two-color knitting with red when I ordered it. But like you guys all know, like red and teal are notorious. For whatever reason, when it comes to dye, those ones are the hardest ones to take. So and maybe my first skein was fine, and then when I got my second braid, that was when all the problems started. I don't know. And now both of them are contaminated because I kept washing them together. I don't know. So we'll see how I can end it. There are probably some other things I need to do tonight as well that have nothing to do with crafting, but I want it over. So, no spindle project, but I did get some combo spinning done, and I left the bobbin. I'll have to show you guys the bobbin next week, but I did manage to fill a bobbin, so I've started a second bobbin. So this is my Nest combo spin. Right now I have a strand of M&R hanging off the wheel, which is sort of a peachy orange. Here, you can actually see my finger now. I have 5 different Nest colorways and 5 different fiber blends. This one is Superwash Merino Silk. I also have a Falkland, a Finn, a Polworth, a Superwash Merino. I'm really curious how this is going to turn out plied. What would it be? It just looks so crazy on the bobbins right now. But it took me forever and a half to fill a bobbin of this, so whatever. The plan is 3-ply. The plan is I'm going to make 3 very full bobbins. And then I'll probably end up splitting up by weight the last bit into 3 different chunks and then spinning those all the way through. The thought process being there that I have 20 ounces of fiber. I can fit about 4 ounces ish, I don't know, whatever. I can fit about 4 ounces on a bobbin. I can fit about 12 on my jumbo bobbin for plying. So, that's sort of my thought process there. And I'd like to try to get as much as possible. Would it be? Because it's always annoying having to do weirdo things to make 3-plies work. I hate leftovers. That's why I really like making a center pole ball and plying from both ends, even though it can result in heartbreak, because no waste, except for when you have to cut stuff. That's bad. So that's sort of where I am right now. I don't know. The other option is to fill up all my bobbins and then sort of switch between them as I'm plying. That is also a possibility. Just sort of depends on what I'm going for. If that was the case, then I would probably need to fill 5 and then have 1. See, I don't even know how that would really work. I think I am going to use my jumbo, which doesn't have as ridiculous a ratio for plying. It probably will just involve treadling lots in order to make it work. Obviously, I haven't thought it through all the way. So, that's the story there. So, it is coming along. That's primarily been my evenings, which is sort of why the cowl has been lingering for a bit. Because I have been trying to get through the bunches and bunches of spinning. What would it be? Because I know some other projects are going to be coming up fairly soon, so one of the projects is, would it be, I decided to participate in the Complete Twist and Arbitrary sale. We're not doing as many sales this year, and this year the dyers, or this January through March sale, the dyers through Three Waters Farm. And both of the colorways were really gorgeous. And they had like solid coordinates, so I ended up getting my favorite colorway and a solid coordinate, and I have visions of brioche in my mind. Have I ever brioche? No. Do I want to brioche? Apparently I want to spin and brioche. I don't want to like go grab yarn from the stash and knit brioche. Like, it needs to be hand spun brioche for some reason. It's a mystery. I'm mysterious. I'm also participating in a combo spin along. This might be an Olympics tide sort of event. It may, what would it be? It may interrupt the combo spinning to do different combo spinning. So I took part in a swap where I sent 6 1-ounce pieces of fiber, and I will get 6 new 1-ounce pieces of fiber, and I have kept 2 1-ounce pieces of fiber, and we'll see how all of that comes together. It'll be filled with shenanigans probably. I was hoping for some color coordination, but that isn't how this group rolls. So it could be full of shenanigans. What would it be? I ended up sending some Into the World. I had a merino bamboo silk blend that was a little bit lost because I gave my other merino silk blend, which was actually what would it be? Now I'm like mixing up dyers, I think. So I had an Into the World merino bamboo silk that I ended up giving to someone in a swap. I had this other guy from a different dyer. I don't think it was Into the World. There was definitely a W in the name though. I lost it. So that one was a little bit lost. The project I was planning on having it for no longer existed, so may as well just make some stuff up. And the other one I ended up splitting up was ended up having like a really fun comb top, or something that had been blended and then pulled as top, from Rock and String Creations. That's annoying me, but not enough to check Ravelry. That one was like pinks and purples and whites and teals, and then the other one was sort of like a greeny teal sort of thing, so we'll see what I end up getting back. And then I'll probably be spinning it sort of like this, but who knows. I could do some combo drafting if it's a little bit, I don't know, I'm not sure what I want to do. I will figure out when it arrives. I'm a little doubtful of it arriving in time for the Olympics though, because that's like February 8th, and that's not too long from now. But who knows. I also won a prize too, so next week will be really exciting. I'll just talk to you about it now. Oh well. So it'd be the case where, what would it be? So there might be some hopscotching, depending. But most of my bin is this, so it shouldn't be too crazy. What would it be? Like, whatever. I've been fairly consistent with this project, so I'm very curious how it's going to turn out. But I won't know until I get 3 bobbins. So that is the trouble. I think that's everything this week. That actually turned out to be a bit longer than I was thinking it would be, considering I still don't have an FO. Oh well. I should be able to record next week. We'll see about whether or not it's, I know it's a little unclear whether it will be Saturday or Sunday, but we'll make something work out. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? I think that was it. Even some things I wasn't intending on talking about. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.